Next I'm going to talk about Capitaines by Minimum Vital, or probably Minimum Vital. It's a really weird album. And these first couple, I started writing these down after having listened to the albums. They were just notable, so I might be a little off on these. But this is a very unusual album. It had a medieval feel. It's not exactly the kind of music I would want to listen to on a regular basis, but at the same time, it made me happy because it's not what you expect to hear. I mean, when I go into these albums, I usually expect to hear some version of rock or electronica. That's mostly what I download. I do recommend for people to check it out themselves if you're looking for something different, and I do recommend the song Avec Uppsala. I gave it a 6.5. Next is Veden Äärelle by Sara, and damn, all the best music these days comes from Finland. People wonder why I've got a boner for the Finns. This is some solid rock, although the album has its flaws. Check out Kartarinassa, Laine Keralan, and Takauma if you don't believe me. 7 out of 10. Next is ThruYOU by Kutiman. I hope you've heard of this, and if you haven't, oh god. All I can say is that listening to the album does not do the project justice. If you haven't heard of Kutiman's work, go Google ThruYOU, ThruYOU. Sit back and watch. This is really something that everyone needs to know about. The guy made an album's worth of songs by going through YouTube videos of people playing various instruments or making noises or pretty much anything. Some of them were just people singing, and he mashed them up and made some wonderful ethnic music out of it. And if you go to his website, you can watch and see he's actually put the videos together in the way that he sampled them, and you get to see how the song is built, and it's really amazing. The best song by far is Babylon Band, which uses heavily mashed clips of a dude playing his drums really fast to make some crazy ass breakbeats. Watching that video and just hearing the intro to that song gives me chills. You've just got to watch the video in order to get the whole experience. I'm not reading this because ThruYOU is not just about music, although the music itself is extremely good. Next is Master of Illusion by PowerQuest. PowerQuest is a power metal band that I've so far had good luck with. Their song Diamond Sky remains one of my all-time favorites. It's a soaring, powerful piece of music, and while it's hard to top, Master of Illusion at least starts out with a similar amount of power. Looking for the next Diamond Sky is probably a bad idea. There's actually some music on this that doesn't quite hit that level, but is still good, like Civilized. The next track, Kings of Eternity, is more what I expected though. The title track is likewise, oh god, I can't get anything done, I keep getting interrupted. So I kind of lost my concentration, but I can safely say this is still good power metal, and I think I'll leave it at that. Master of Illusion gets a 7.5 out of 10. I think I will tell you about Hallie. Hallie is an osprey, I think. He's got the distinction of being a furry and also of being like an actual signed recording artist. His name is Matthew Ebel, and I've actually owned 2 of his albums, Beer and Coffee and Goodbye Planet Earth, which has illustrations on the cover by Spunky. He does really good piano pop rock, and his songs have a tendency to be at times funny and at times introspective. On FA, he posts some of his work, so I mean you can check it out if you watch him, but most of his material is on his website, which is MatthewEbel.net. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because last night, as of this recording, I actually watched him perform live on Ustream, and this is my first Ustream concert, and I thought it was awesome because there were like 145 people in the chat room, and most of them were furries, and they're all pretty much going, "Dance Monkey!" which I found humorous in a perverse sort of way. But he's a fantastic artist. You should watch him do his Ustream thing, which apparently he does every Tuesday at 6 for about an hour and a half, barring technical difficulties. But yeah, MatthewEbel.net, Hallie on For Affinity is a really cool guy. You should definitely check him out. The album is Center Stage Apology. The artist is the Everpresent Melancholy, and the Everpresent Melancholy is actually FA's own Travis Ratledge, aka Colson Granger. I really hope that everyone knows who Colson is, but if you don't, number 1, shame. Number 2, he's a fantastic singer-songwriter who writes songs full of deep meaning and metaphor, and who sings like the guy from Dashboard Confessional, only like way better. I really shouldn't like this kind of music, it's kind of funny, but I've always liked Colson's work, and this album is no exception. Longtime fans of Colson's will recognize about every other together track, which makes for a nicely coherent album. I mean, you pretty much know you're gonna like it. Those less familiar can expect complex guitar work and emotional vocal layering, as well as the aforementioned songwriting prowess. Fox Moore makes a showing on the album. He provides piano and strings on 3 tracks, and for those fearing a simple plasticized gallery dump, fear not. Songs have been remastered and in some cases re-recorded. Just look at the tag of full band version behind Postcard. The extra instrumentation really adds a new dimension to the song, if not also a slightly different feel. And at the same time, songs I've come to love, like With All Due Respect, are blessedly untouched. Songs I'm not familiar with are generally just as good as the ones with which I am. The opener, Storybook Elegy, is top-notch work. I could really just drive down the highway and sing along to this whole thing. I'd say my only complaint about the album is the final track just sort of stops, and it leaves me feeling unfinished. I'm not sure, that could have been intentional, but this is still getting a 9.5. It's almost perfect. Coulson, Travis, if you're listening to this, I just want to let you know you make us proud. Reach for the stars, man. Next is Smoking Gun by Lady of the Sunshine. Gee, I finally hit the point where I started downloading indie music again. Airy acoustic indie guitar music is a bit better than Iron and Wine, with some hints of White Stripe style garage rock. It's passable for indie rock. It's the kind of music I just skip through to see if there's anything worth listening to, and there isn't. 5.5 out of 10. Hey, suggestions to torrent uploaders. If you're gonna upload a torrent, don't put a fucking question mark in the title, okay? Next is Skeletons by 7 Story Drop. All you really need to know is this is Breaking Benjamin, but not as good. Now, I happen to like Breaking Benjamin a lot, and I do still like this, but they lack the amazing vocal talent. So it basically means it's millennial metal with 1 or 2 obvious singles. 6 out of 10. Oh god, next is Nobody's Daughter by Courtney Love. Don't get me wrong, I like Toll as much as the next guy, but Courtney Love as a musician has never really amounted to much. Now she's trying to reinvent herself as one of those scratchy-voiced jazz singers that seems to be the new British invasion, except, you know, she's not British, or a good singer. She really ought to stick to whiny rock, because this whiny acoustic melancholy bullshit just doesn't work for her. 5 out of 10. Next is self-titled album, and I cannot figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. It looks like Eoghan Quigg. I downloaded this just for the guy's name, and the first song is about having thousands of friends on MySpace and Facebook. It's teen pop, it's unfortunate, it's kind of painful. This is definitely the kind of music that keeps me from clicking on the pop torrents. No rating. I don't know what's up with that, and I'm sorry. Now it's time for music reviews! I'm starting off with the self-titled album by Pause for Effect, who are Fur Affinity's own premier cartoon band, which is to say that they're all actually cartoon characters, and the whole outfit is the brainchild of FA's own way too talented Mando Andy. Well, let's forget all of that. Sam, Nick, and David are, in reverse order, a golden retriever, a fox, and a squirrel. Okay, make that a really hot squirrel. They do lots of music and tend towards a pop, sometimes punk style. As with a lot of FA musicians, I know their music from single-track releases on their page, so I'll be reviewing this album with a view towards having heard it all before. You can stream the album from their website, which I'll provide a link for, and as always, you can check out their music at the gallery on FA. The album opens with You Were Mine, which is probably my favorite Pause for Effect song. This is followed by a couple songs that I really don't remember, a little down-tempo but nevertheless welcome. They really bring in the Green Day influence with Social Dropout Media Reject, and while the energy moves up and down across the album, I think the songwriting is what really brings everything together. Songs like Fake Blonde Hair are catchy and fun, and that's really what these guys are all about. And listening to some of these songs in album format, I'm actually enjoying them more than when I first heard them on FA. That's really saying something, I think. I don't know if this album's in physical format at all, or just downloadable, but I think I need to get me a copy. 8 out of 10. Next is Nighty Night by 8 and 8. Okay, musicgasm here. 8 and 8 includes Amanda Palmer of the Dresden Dolls, her husband Neil Gaiman, maybe you've heard of him, and Ben fucking Folds, and some other guy. They released a 6-track album through Creative Commons on Amanda's website. The end result is kind of weird, a little down-tempo more often than not. I'll Be My Mirror sounds a lot like another Amanda Palmer song I have that has a really long title that I can't remember, except it's got pianos and drums. And oh my...
Celestia.
Neil Gaiman sings the last track, but...
Oh, more settlers!
Ben Folds performing with Amanda Palmer. I hope they do more stuff together. 5 out of 10. Next is a pair of furry albums, Hysteria by Para Siempre. This is an album released by FA user Dog, an indie artist I've begun watching just recently. Unfortunately, this album is just not my thing. It's so lo-fi that it honestly and truly hurts my ears. Getting away from overproducing is one thing, but I really think that there needs to be a baseline of production value for an album to be listenable. Others may disagree, but it is not my thing. 3 out of 10. The second is 5 by Car Seat Headrest. He's another FA user, a Car Seat Headrest. I'm comparing this to the last album only because I listened to them back-to-back. This is also lo-fi indie music, but I like it far better overall. Car Seat Headrest songs tend to be more droning than anything, mixing together instruments and voice into one long sound, and that's alright. This also displays some affable songwriting skill. I particularly like the song Strangers, 6 out of 10.